Okay, here we go. Another episode of Eric and Val. And not only do we not have a topic for today, but we still don't have a general format for our channels. So today is just going to be Val is going to want to talk about aliens slash black goo slash
Yeah.
Trump, like everything we talk about. Um, so yeah, go for it. You were watching that.
Okay.
You want to start with the Skinwalker
Yeah, let's
Ranch
start with Skinwalker Ranch.
because that's fun.
I don't know how long it's been out on Netflix. They have the first season up right now. It's a ranch out in Utah, over 500 acres out there that has
Yep.
been known to have some very crazy paranormal UFO related activities on it. So they sent out a team. They have a astrophysicist out there heading up the research, and they're looking under the ground and in the sky and finding
Right.
some crazy stuff. So definitely watch it. I think I was like so addicted to it. I even went on to the History Channel has season 2 for free, so I watched season 2 on the History Channel app.
And well, my main takeaway was immediately I couldn't believe how full it is of actual events.
Yes.
Like it's in that whole realm of Ghost Hunter type of show. Like I mean the like this like the feel of the show.
Okay, yeah.
It's in that area of Ghost Hunter type of show. But it's
Yeah.
nothing like that. It's like Ghost Hunter, whatever.
Well, because
It's,
Ghost Hunter always seems so fake.
and they really are like reaching for content.
Yes.
And there's been, I mean, of course, there was the one. Maybe it was actually called like Ghost Hunter, and then there's been a bunch that are like very similar to that.
Well, I'm just thinking in
And they're
general, the Ghost Hunter shows.
They're so bad.
Yeah.
Like one little thing happens and they explode its significance and focus on it for like
in
half a season.
Like an uptick on a 1980s device that they use. Oh my goodness. It's definitely activity.
Yeah. And of course some of that stuff is legit, but it's hard to get things like that.
It's barely anything, yeah.
But then this Skinwalker Ranch is like, whoa, episode 1, it's like, whoa, they're showing UFOs on what is now TV.
Yeah.
Straight up on camera.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
And
you can see their shock in their faces that they even see this.
Yep.
With the activity that they're doing out there, it's like provoking them.
Yeah. And so also while we're on this topic, I'll switch to my screen here and just show this. This is another thing in the realm of like, whoa, I can't believe they're actually showing this on something mainstream.
Yeah, and this was 2021, so this came out this year.
Yeah, and I'm showing last year.
Now.
It's specifically the second episode is what I can't believe they are exposing.
Yeah.
It's straight up what the typical truther has been calling disclosure.
Yeah, it's funny. When Eric told me about this show, he said, no, skip right to episode 2.
Yeah.
It says everything. And it really does.
Yeah, it says all of what the truthers are getting into, like everything. It says that there's this evil elite doing all the things that all the truthers say that they've been doing.
Yeah.
Cooking, and eating it and everything. I can't believe it. And so I think that's actually why it's episode 2 that they give the big reveal, because episode 1 is kind of like the outer court.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not really dedicated, you're gonna go into the outer court and be like, okay, whatever. But
and then you'll not watch anymore.
And then you're not going to watch anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my principle of just keep reading.
Yeah.
So it's all throughout the Bible where you get this confusing parable.
Mm-hmm.
And then the The man in the outer court is just like, what? He's just left confused.
Yep.
And this principle applies to so many things in life. You take a look at something, and there's this wall of obfuscation to keep you from becoming one of the initiated. Because to be one of the initiated in this knowledge is to have some kind of power, and oftentimes like these groups of power don't want more people in that same level of power. So this outer court slash wall of obfuscation, it's all over the place. It's all over the place in all areas of life.
Yeah.
And
You could say
I
that.
know it's a little bit of a detour, but it's funny
I
to
mean, this isn't really a detour though, because I was also telling Eric just the abundance of UFO and alien conspiracy shows. Oh my God, that scared me. Uh, on Prime and even Netflix now.
Sorry. Yeah,
So it's
it
just,
counted it. Yeah, you're right.
and then we were going back to the government releasing some UFO findings in 2019 of like their chase. And I actually haven't watched it, but you have.
What was the official disclosure from our military? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was that
That's what I'm talking
that
about.
was that air some fighter jet like chasing an unknown, literally a UFO.
Yeah.
And then that was officially
So it
released.
just seems like just in the last few years they've been open to releasing all of this, and I'm kind of wondering why.
And that happened in 2018, 19.
I think 19.
Yeah. Well, it coincides with September. This is another thing we're going to get into just briefly in this chat is this. So we're in September now of 2022. And if we go back 7 years now, that is the faded and popular September 23rd, 2015,
Hmm.
which made a big splash in the conspiracy community, like hundreds or thousands and thousands of people obsessed with it.
Well, that was in Back to the Future. They pointed to that year, correct?
Was it? Well, that's right. Except, well, they were going to like November something, November
But it was
15th, 20, November something
it was
20.
something I think 2015 though.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah, that was the date that they went. That was the future, the date of the
Hmm.
future that they went to in the first
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just one of many movies that had somewhat a, a revealing of September.
Hmm.
Well, specifically, lots of movies were September 23rd, 2015.
Mm.
People got insane about it. Stocked up on food, stocked up on water, like quit their jobs.
What?
Yeah, it was like
Oh wow,
another.
I
It was
missed
like
that.
almost like another year to like Y2K. It was like a big deal. People went
Okay.
into their bunkers and all this stuff.
Okay.
Big deal. So here we are 7 years later, and oftentimes I'm thinking about like 7 year cycles and what happens in
Hmm.
7 years later, or what happened maybe 7 years before some major event, and you get into that whole symmetrical ripple effect of Jason from Archaics. That stuff is just too interesting to me. And so I looked back, 7 years prior to 9/23/15, and that was basically the era of the financial collapse,
Hmm.
the great financial collapse, where people literally by thousands and thousands of people lost millions of dollars, and not like billionaires, but like people that like we're going to retire on that
Yeah,
money.
I mean, didn't
Like,
they relate that to the Great Depression era? That's how bad the crash was.
I mean, far more money was actually lost, but I mean, it
I
did.
think
I don't
that's
think
all
it.
they meant by that.
Yeah, I don't think it devastated your everyday. You wake up and you don't have any bread to eat, kind
No,
of
no,
thing.
no, not
But
like that.
but yeah, like billions of dollars just disappeared off the table of
Mhm.
the economy,
Mhm.
and that's because the economy is largely fake, just existing on paper, and at any moment, most of it can be just quote written off
Mhm.
and just deleted from the computers. Um, yeah. So anyway, what I was saying is, here we are, 7 years into the future from September 23rd, 2015. This month will be
Yeah,
that.
I was going to say, yeah.
So what I was getting to is that the just the strangeness in PayPal has alerted me and Coinbase has alerted me that I need to make sure I log into my accounts and make sure all my whatever is up to date, like phone number and well, specifically Coinbase is really weird about it. And another one, not just Coinbase, Robinhood, that investment
Mm-hmm.
platform, whatever. Uh, I have like nothing, no money in there really, but I have an account, and on the same, it might have been on the same day, or at least in the same week, I got notifications from all three of these companies, PayPal, Coinbase, and Robinhood,
All pointing to September.
all telling me by September I have to have everything up to date.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just, I think, too much of a coincidence. So this is me putting it out there onto the internet. September, what is it today? 3rd? 2nd. So September 2nd, 2022, putting it out there that I think like they are planning to do something
You never know.
this September, and it's related to the financial system. That's
Well,
all.
yeah, they could be moving. I mean, there's already talks about them moving everything to digital. It's no
That's what it is
it's no
looking
like
like.
hidden
Yeah.
agenda at this point. Like we've even heard like Biden talk about, not that that even matters at all, but he's definitely talked about moving everything to digital.
Yep. Yep. That's where it's headed, I think.
Hmm.
Um, what else do we want to talk about?
So take your money out. No, I'm just kidding.
Bank run.
Let's see.
Well, you wanted to get into some interesting actual details about what they reveal in Skinwalker
In
Ranch.
Skinwalker.
I'm only on episode 3 of season 2,
Yeah.
but it gets into one of the themes that's uh, surfacing on our channel here
Yeah.
of like the Black Goo stuff.
Yeah.
So
And graphene and
yeah,
come in graphene, which they say comes from stars, and falling stars maybe be interlocked with meteorites and things like that. And if you look like the main guy in Skinwalker talks about meteorite showers actually hitting that ranch area, that northern part of Utah right there. Um, and in the ground,
and that's like the Billie Eilish music video where it's her portraying a fallen angel
mm-hmm,
falling through the clouds, hitting the earth, and she lands directly into a puddle of black goo.
mm-hmm.
Or it's a representation of her uh, being in some way the black goo.
Yeah, you could see it like that.
Yeah, because I mean, she craters into something, and that could represent her.
Well, they also injected her with, I think, black goo.
Oh, there you go.
So I think she just incorporated herself into it, but on the earth plane.
Yeah. So yeah, it all goes together in the Noah movie, how it portrays the fallen angels as basically like rocks that fall from the heaven.
Yeah, they look like big meteor.
And then there are these
Chunks.
like living meteor / boulder type things. I think that's a portrayal of them as, well, the fallen angels as meteors, and then what you were getting into about this Skinwalker Ranch then
Yeah,
is,
so they did digging like
yep,
100 feet down and found this black rocky substance. And the first test that they did on it, they just took a blowtorch to it just to see if it uh, was affected by heat at all. And it didn't start on fire or anything. Like it
that's the
didn't.
first thing they did.
That's the first thing they did.
I can't wait to see this. I'll probably get to it tomorrow.
So I just thought that was really interesting. And then they also get into.
Wait, so this black, how much of it was there?
I mean, there was just chunks of it that they were finding inside the soil.
But So you think if it's like oil or something like that, it'd be like igniting.
It's definitely not oil.
Did the like dirt burn away and it was like, whoa, the black stuff is
No,
remaining?
you could just pull. I mean, the dirt fell off of it, and it was like this black,
Oh my gosh.
rocky substance. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, they also talk about, okay, so they did an experiment. Um, they basically found out that the soil is conductive. Like the soil,
Right.
just the soil. It's crazy.
And they're always having these like experts out there. Where
Yeah.
do they claim that usually that is not the case?
Yeah.
Um,
100% never seen that before.
yeah,
Like all the
makes sense.
experts are just in awe about this place completely.
Okay. So you're
So they're constantly checking the RFs in the
right.
area and the magnetic field. It's all tons of gamma rays going off. Everything goes off spontaneously.
Yep.
And almost every time they do research, like UFOs fly over just randomly.
You know what? So one thing revealed in season 1 is the main researcher, the main like talking head, that
Hmm.
astrophysicist guy. He says that he woke up he was awoken in the middle of the night
Hmm.
by this radio, this like every frequency of the radio
And the
spectrum
dog was
was
barking. That's why.
that's how he woke up.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then it turns out every band on his meter was extremely high. It was like someone is straight up broadcasting a radio station at every frequency, like at pretty high
And
levels.
almost matching frequencies, but extremely high on
Yeah, it was
every
pretty.
end.
What I want to point out is that that kind of makes me think of the fact that not just me, but our mom and many others say that at night is in short is when they turn shit up.
Hmm.
And at night is when sometimes I'll definitely have like a general um like a more noisy head, like electrically.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm one of the highly sensitive persons, HSPs. And like I can even detect radar, like when I'm by an airport.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes not, but sometimes like whoa, I can like feel it come in, and it's really random. So I don't know. It could be like just a certain frequency range or
Hmm.
intensity it has to be. Um, and then that one time I went to a Target. Maybe I don't know. I was 9-ish, so you're really young. You're like 4 or 5. And I walked in the
It's
front
like the
door.
high
You must have
pitch.
been there. Yeah, you must have been there. I mean, we're always together,
Hmm.
going shopping with our parents. Uh, I walked in the front door of this Target, and they had just installed those things you walk through. Like
Like the metal
yeah,
detectors.
like through the like 90s, the first generation of those not maybe it was to detect
It
their
is, yeah.
security tags or
Yeah.
whatever. But the first generation of that, yeah, I walked through the front door and my head exploded in pain and high pitched ringing. And
I remember you saying something like
and
that.
my
Hmm.
legs like disabled. I like fell to the ground and I was just grabbing my head and then I was able to get up and back out of the area and I had to leave. Um and everyone else had no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely like sensitive. And so when I hear other people saying that at night, like that's when they turn shit up. Something to that. So there's something to that because
Yeah.
sometimes I'll have like Morse code beeping, like
Hmm.
that's exactly what it is. And it like will sometimes go all night. Sometimes I'll just hear it for a few seconds. Um, I wish I could like record the beeps somehow and get the actual decoding of it. There's no way I'd be able to. Well, okay, I mean maybe could like try to reproduce it while I'm like hearing it. It's too much though. Um, yeah. So all that to say is, so we're talking to bring that back to this Skinwalker Ranch, um, and the
That's like not of
frequencies.
this world. Like it's not, it's like almost impossible to replicate these frequencies going off all at the same
And
time.
it was at night is when it was
Yeah.
spiking. So to bring my story back to what we're talking about with the Skinwalker Ranch
Hmm.
reveal is maybe they, turning shit up at night is aliens in underground bases, like turning on their transmitters at a certain time or something like that to like broadcast back to their homeworld.
It just reminds me of that what's that movie where they manipulate the whole city at night while everyone sleeps?
Well, they live. That thing is that it's constantly broadcasting. That could be. It could be a constant thing. And wow, that's a big thought. Like they live is literally happening, literally true. Like there's a constant broadcast of some signal, and us highly sensitive people are picking up on it. Maybe just more at night. Oh my God, I just figured it out. Here's a crazy theory. So when it's night here, it's day on the other side of the flat Earth disk, right?
Mhm.
The sun is over there.
Yeah.
What if I'm picking up on the fact that now this like signal that is portrayed in They Live that's making us not be able to see these archons or reptilians or whatever. What if it's being always broadcasted from like the opposite, the dark side, bouncing up and over onto the waking, so they get it stronger during the day, but I'm picking up on the base station that it's being actually projected from on the dark side of the world. It's just a crazy theory.
Is that why there's those song The Dark Side of the Moon?
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, but that the shit gets turned up at night, and it's just weird that the Skinwalker Ranch would show that same thing.
Mhm.
And then of course that's when all the UFO stuff, the lights go flashing off in that show too. It's a lot of stuff at night.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff during the day too.
Well, it's a lot of stuff during the day too.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. I want to go visit there. Oh, I want to go visit. I wonder if they would let me on.
I'm a fan, excuse me.
Oh no, I could say I'm a highly sensitive person, and
Yeah. I know, I was just kidding.
I'm knowledgeable about with all the gear they have. I could operate.
Mhm. Okay, so just to get back to the point, why are they finally revealing all this stuff to us? Why are we seeing all this stuff um, about black goo and aliens and the raining black goo from the sky has happened a couple times?
Yep.
I don't know.
Theorize, Val.
Well, what I was saying earlier to Eric, said, do the chemtrails support these cloaked skies that we supposedly live under? Like, there's a theory that there's a bunch of UFOs in the sky at all times, but they're
Yeah.
just being cloaked.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, these chemtrails are spraying down all kinds of like metals and things like that. Do those support the cloaking systems that they have in place?
Yeah. Something like that I think is feasible,
Yeah.
plausible, because of the weird Bible verse. I don't know the reference, and I have to paraphrase it, but it's something about Jesus's armies which were in heaven. How basically like when he comes and whatever, how he's going to be followed by his armies which were in heaven. And if Jesus is going to physically return, and that whole theory is actually allegory plus physical, then I take that to mean that these UFOs up there that are hidden are what the Bible is referring to as his armies which were in heaven. They're just hanging out up there. And also, just like a lot of times there's truth drops in movies about what's actually happening, actual technology, actual activity of these fallen angels slash aliens, X-Files, a huge example of that.
Lots of drops
it's
there.
exactly what's going on with the genetic hybridization program.
Mhm.
They didn't make anything up for that show. The author the writer simply is clued in to what's
Yeah.
actually happening.
Yeah.
Um, and that Marvel movie, the what is it? One of them shows that big spaceship, the big airship. They can just cloak it, and it's like this big aircraft carrier.
Well, that reminds me of V too.
V for Vendetta.
No, no, no.
Oh,
The what is it
right.
called? Just V?
It's just called V.
I think
You're
they
right.
could cloak their ships too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were able to turn the whole bottom of it into like a TV screen type of thing,
Yeah.
and right, were
They could
they
do a lot of
there?
stuff with it.
Were they there and then they uncloaked? Is that how it happened in like episode
Yeah,
one?
I think so.
I think so.
So are we about to see the uncloaking? Because in V, it's all about, I mean, we're going through this big V pandemic right now.
Oh, oh my God, dude.
So are we about to see the uncloaking?
In September, I'm telling you, something happening in September.
We'll see.
And yeah, so here's what's gonna happen. It's September 23rd. You know, it's just so that happens. Uh, they're like, "Hello, welcome. We're the Dracos from whatever.
Yeah.
Got all this technology, and we're gonna let you use our financial system, but to do that, you all have to be digital and whatever, and that's why we had to have all of our information up to date on all of
Mhm.
these platforms, because all the banking platforms of the world will be able to say, oh, okay, V's, we can just plug you into our system. And I'm just theorizing,
Yeah.
it could actually all happen that way. But I don't know. Nothing happens fast. Well, maybe that's not exactly true. Look at 9/11, whatever things. There are certain events that just happen, fast, and big change happens.
Yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't be fast. I think they've been revving up lots of things for something like this to happen.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned the whole thing is there's all these indicators that they're building up to it.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
in Skinwalker Ranch, did you said they found that like 100 feet deep? Was that right?
Yeah.
What you told me they found something at 25 feet. What was that?
Oh, that was in another hole. It was flowing water. Just straight flowing water
That's
in
right.
one area.
And this is in the desert,
Well, basically,
in
yeah.
the straight up desert of
They do
Utah.
have, yeah, they have a stream like going through like a good big amount of stream going through the property.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's not the only water on the,
Okay.
but yeah, it was very interesting that that's underground as well. Alluding to a lot of the other things that they found, which was like tunnels and stuff through radar. They seem to think there's some type of tunnel system, which
Yeah.
could all just be a water filled with water. I have
No,
no
no.
idea.
You know what? If you listen to, what's his name? I don't think I'll be able to come up with his name right now. But there's this one guy that was out on the like UFO speaking circuit for forever. No, they killed him. They killed him. They killed him.
Hmm.
But what he had been primarily discussing, like the thing he brought to the conference, was always his story about how he would go to these digging sites. I think, oh yeah, yeah, he was like somehow involved with getting the deep underground military bases like dug and built somehow.
Okay.
And he was going down this one elevator type of thing on a freshly dug hole, and they're like, encountering some weird stuff. Like there's already a big opening there or whatever, and so they went and checked it out, and they saw and encountered straight up aliens, and like all these Marines died, and the guy himself had a Marine jump in front of the fire that was coming his way from their like laser weapons that came out of their chest and saved his life, except it like melted off his fingers.
What?
And he barely made it back into the whatever elevator type of
Yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah.
they had constructed. He got out, and so he was talking about that for like 25 years. And
Yeah.
no one no
That would have
one
been too.
no one could ever debunk like what happened to your fingers. I mean, it was
Mhm.
their laser weapon that came out of their chest took it off.
Wow.
Yeah, and so and that was I'm sure somewhere in the south, southwest, in the deserty area.
Mhm.
So anytime I hear of stuff like this out in the southwest, I'm thinking, oh, it's just an alien base underground.
Yeah.
They're just chilling out down there,
Mhm.
only like 100 feet down.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it gets into stories of the Native Americans. I forgot what they call them, but they basically have like multiple tribes have the same story of ant like humanoids um being down there.
Ant?
Ant, yeah,
Like
like
as small as an ant?
no, like 6, 7, 8 feet tall, but like ant-like, and a combination of course, it gets into it's one of the, what's it, mantid, the mantids, whatever. It's like one of the alien humanoid species.
Okay.
Like if the whole Star Trek universe is real.
Yeah.
And there's there's the people that look like half fish, and like
Yeah, yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
there's the Vulcans that are like look, kind of like a bat, right?
Mhm.
Well, there's apparently these mantids that look like praying mantises, except they're, five-pointed, they're five-star pattern humanoids, arms, legs, and a head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, multiple Southwest tribes of Native Americans are, talk about them.
Mhm.
They say they basically live in the caves. Uh, but that's of course probably where that's how they see them coming in and out,
Mhm. Of their
but
underground.
of their underground base.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's all these underground bases in the Southwest, at least. Just like there are so many stories of underground bases in the water, especially on the East Coast of the U.S. and especially outside of Jacksonville Beach, Florida. That's where I lived for a short time. That's where I actually saw the one triangle UFO. Was
Oh yeah, you
right
told me
above
that.
Jack's Beach,
Mhm.
and there's apparently constantly they're just encountering. I mean, the military, they're constantly encountering these unidentified submersible objects, USOs.
Hmm.
They're going in and out of the water, going into their whatever kind of city could be down there.
Mhm.
There's no doubt thousands of them down there. So all this stuff is under us, and we have like no real technology that is like, feasible to make it so that we can go find them easily or whatever.
Mm-mm.
Digging into the ground is not easy.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
It's just like normal people are not gonna go 100 feet down.
No. Takes heavy machinery for sure.
Yeah, so they are kind of safe down there. I mean, even when military and big business gets involved, it's still a huge endeavor
Mhm.
to go down 100 feet.
Yep.
Talking hundreds of millions of dollars to go down 100, 200, 300 feet.
If it's a significant hole, yeah, of
Yeah, yeah. I'm
course.
not talking
Yeah.
just like a core sample. I'm
Yeah.
talking like moving semi trucks down there.
Exactly.
Hundreds of millions of dollars
Like making
gone.
legit caves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait to watch. I'm gonna continue that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
I wonder if I could just like randomly encounter some interesting clips on this alien conspiracy. They are here on Amazon. I mean, I went to the like 3/4 the way through. Like this is when they really start to drop the truth. Let me turn the audio back up. Do you have any other major things you wanted to get to, Val?
To follow.
I don't think so. No.
Even their reading literature was prescribed. This was not enlightenment or freedom. This was control of the mind under a veil. Indeed, independent thought and action was forbidden by the rules of the order.
Yeah, look at that. They just flat out flash the Illuminati name.
Yeah.
And this is on a mainstream source.
Into the Munich Lodge in 1777. He attempted to reform them, and when this failed, he began recruitment drives within their own lodges. It was a
Right. I
brilliant
remember
ploy.
this. It was talking about the Jesuits, which are
Yeah.
Roman, from Catholic Church derived. They infiltrated the Freemasons. They got into everything in this
I
video.
can't believe what they drop here.
Set
Yeah.
up a business or run his trains. If he or his company steps out of line, then permission is not given. Toe the line, virgin or no virgin.
Oh, they're talking about Richard Branson. Yeah, they drop
Hugh
every
Grant
bit.
is a descendant of King Henry.
Yeah, everything.
A
here.
lot of the celebrities, they were talking about them being close descendants to the elite that come from all of these,
Yeah,
what do you call them?
the blood.
The royalty.
The
these
bloodlines
like
of the
royal lines.
most corrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owned by gods, and men were their slaves.
Right, and that was them continuing on that line of thought, how there's these certain bloodlines of man that simply have more DNA from these fallen angels.
Yeah.
And that is, and they flat out say, okay, well, that's who we call the leaders of the government, the kings and priests and whatever, the big important people.
The Pope, the Vatican. like
Yeah.
that whole line.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It just drops everything.
Mm-hmm.
In a show called Alien Conspiracy. It's totally just
Well, then,
buried.
yeah.
Like, no one's going to see
I mean,
this.
it's not lying. The aliens are the, evil fallen angel entities.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, I won't ruin the rest.
And goes through this bloodline.
Won't
yeah.
ruin the rest. Just go watch this.
Yeah, that
Um,
was really good too.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
That's today's rant
Yeah.
/ discussion that hopefully in the future will just be a live stream, and then we can have people just chatting and replying to chatted messages for the what do we got 9 subscribers now, so maybe one dude or one gal will chime in live.
Yeah. And call us crazy. That's fine too.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Okay, catch you next time. Bye.
See ya.